Greetings, fellow pink lasagnas. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And wouldn't you know it, golly be golly, my God, Cartoon Network just decided, you know what? You know what? As a late Christmas present to you all, we're gonna freaking release a Steven Universe because why not? Why not? It's been 5 months. We're just gonna take a break from the Teen Titans Go and just throw one. Just give a dog a late Christmas bonus, if you will. Dragon, are you as fed up with this as I am? I mean, it's like I certainly don't blame the show, but I really I just think Cartoon Network this came out of nowhere, man. It's like we literally had to restructure what we were gonna do tonight to fit this in because neither of us had any idea that this was coming.
Yeah, we were definitely blindsided. Again, folks, today I found out about this. I had no idea because I've seen people posting reviews and reactions to this episode. It's like, wait a minute, a new Steven Universe episode. Wait, what? I went back
Yeah, I
and
saw
checked.
Manos reviewed it, and that's how I found out.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. I had no idea. If not for that, I probably still would. That's the thing. I was completely blindsided by it. And basically it's kind of occurring to me now as Steve's bringing it up. It's a usual pattern that every time this keeps happening, the universe goes by for a while, and then we're just kind of blindsided by it when it comes back because they never announce these things.
It's really awful in terms of keeping the hype and dragging the days of the glory days of us literally like applauding live on air at Mr. Greg. It's long since past, man. Like we hit our peak with that particular episode, and we're just freaking going along for the ride at this point because why not? The good news is, Dragon. The good news, I actually kind of love this episode. I love how understated it is. I love the song. I think it's a very interesting message and idea. The world building is on point. And I got to admit, with the some of the staging of it, gave me some Mr. Greg vibes. So I'm really high on this one, actually.
I think I just need to rewatch it maybe a time or two more. But I got to be honest.
I did watch it twice, so that maybe helped me.
I don't know. It's just I feel this episode. It's familiar, by the way. What it's called? Familiar. It feels like it's getting back into the swing of things after a while. I think this feels like it was affected by the break a little bit. It's to me it feels very, and I don't mean this in a negative way. It just feels very fillery and kind of cutscene-y, if you will. Just kind of what it feels like. Just they're kind of, it's like a segment in a video game. I'm playing the PS4 Spider-Man game. If anyone's wondering where this video game analogy is coming from, why it's on my mind. But it's kind of like when you linger around, you have to like interact or like kind of talk to people in the game and stuff. It's kind of what this really felt like. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I think it picks up more towards the end. But for a while, I was like, man, it's like this is fine, I guess.
Wow, we're on really different tracks with this one.
I mean, it's fine. It's just
Interesting.
didn't really wow me. I mean, I think Mr. Greg's kind of an over, like Mr. Greg vibes is still like an over.
I really like that song, man, and I really like how that song was staged. What can I tell you?
Well, again, I'll admit this. I think it picks up towards the end with the song and everything, but I still think before that, it's just kind of meandering. It's not a bad thing to meander. It just feels like after that big break, it's like, okay, we're just kind of back and we're just kind of meandering. It's
Well,
kind of
Dragon, I
still,
just want to put this into context here. This is going to be like a mini version of what our Aquaman review is going to be, but the roles are going to be reversed.
uh, let's just peach anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much my thesis on the episode. It's fine. Just again, I was
I
kind
get
of
the 11-minute thing to fight against, and you get the 2.5 hour thing.
yeah. Anyway,
All right. Um.
yes,
Okay. Like, oh shoot, can you hear me?
yeah.
I'm getting out. Is it doing that little thingy with the audio?
Yeah, for a
You
second,
know,
I think it.
the green dots. I'm not seeing the green dots. Anyways, I'm gonna
Um,
just gonna pretend I'm seeing green dots. Anyways, folks, since long, and I myself am details. Tell us what has happened. Cue the Carlton cues. Previously on Steven Universe.
Okay, previously on Steven Universe, here's what happened. So last we checked in, it was legs from here to Homeworld. The diamonds were reintroduced. They were kind of coming around Steven's place, and they got a basically they're now enlightened. They now piece together that Steven is pink. That Steven is Pink Diamond. You know, Pink Diamond, Steven Universe, very simpatico. They're not quite grasping the whole ins and outs of because there's basically seeing Steven as Pink Diamond, not really delineating. We kind of see that in this episode here, and essentially, they showed up. They kind of set some things right. Like they're working on curing the corrupted gems and like the centipedal. Like they fixed her for a spell, but it takes a lot out of them. And to really fix those gems, they kind of to get things make things right with what the diamonds have done to the earth and the gems on the earth and the whole shebang. They got to go to Homeworld to talk to White Diamond and basically get her involved in things to fix everything. That's why they went to Homeworld. They went to Homeworld to talk to White Diamond, which is a long shot. And of course, the Pink Diamond all complicates things. So we have this really great kind of trippy Neil Gaiman-esque looking White Diamond that basically blends into the background. It's so trippy and cool looking.
Oh
And,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And she gave Stephen like a few seconds of time. And it's almost like a parent talking down to the child. Like it's a comforting but still very eerie visual saying, basically saying, "Hey, White Diamond, I have stuff to tell you." Right before he got anything, it's just that's good, Pink Diamond. You got that out of your system. Now go to your room. And we just kind of left Stephen there in the Pink Diamond room, and that's where things left off.
Gotcha. Okay, Dragon. So let's dive into the episode. But before we do, I believe because everyone listening to this wants to hear our lovely, lovely crooner voice, Dragon, I believe we owe them a song. All right, you ready? I'm gonna give it my all this time. I'm really gonna give it my all. All right. I'm gonna go baritone for this. All right.
Oh boy.
We
are the crystal
gems.
We always save the day.
And if you think we can't, we'll
always find a way.
That's why that's why the people love this world.
Of this world.
Believe in
garnet,
amethyst,
and pearl. And
Steven! Swear to God, Dragon, my baritone voice sounds a lot better when I'm singing to myself in the shower.
Sure. We all believe that, right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna play this like we're playing movie fights right now. By the way, Dragon, free promotion for movie fights, even though they're not sponsoring us or anything. Check out movie fights because the Great Cucumber was back on. Dragon Cucumber had his comeback.
Hooray! I love Cucumber, man.
Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out. It's one of the better movie fights in a while. I highly recommend you watch
it. Was Rudnick on?
What?
Was Rudnick involved as well?
Rudnick's the host, man. You didn't know that?
Well, I mean, I know I think there was one time where he was competing instead of hosting. So I mean, I don't like.
No, he's the host. Hoot hashtag Owl Nation hashtag get hooligans.
I mean, I bring that up because I love how Rudnick interacting with Cucumber. So that's quite hilarious. What is Cucumber period? Like that's major points there because I'm not crazy what Cucumber does. I've looked into Cucumber actually. I'm not crazy what he usually does because he's usually I think he's into D&D and all sorts of stuff like that. There's like basically it's like a very niche gaming thing.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I love when Cucumber does other things, and this is one of those other things I love it when Cucumber does it. So yeah, okay.
Right, I swear to God, folks, we're not sponsored by Screen Junkies, Movie Fights, or whatever channel Cucumber's on.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so getting back to the Steven Universe of it all.
Yeah, so Dragon, I don't know, like when you say it like that, I really do get what you're saying about the cutscenes because we are kind of just going from room to room and having these interactions. I get that when you break it down like that, but there's just I thought the message of the episode was kind of powerful. The kind of deja vu quality that comes from what Steven's feeling. How everything in this environment can feel both familiar and distant and alien at the same time. I really dug that about this episode, Dragon. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of over analyzing it. Maybe I'm just I don't know. I really liked what the episode was saying. I like how it came together as a whole. Um
Well, look,
I don't know. There was the sense of repetition in the way he interacts with the diamonds. I feel like that was there to I'm not necessarily going to defend the whole like cutscene element of it, but I do like both of their interactions. I mean, I like that Yellow is, very authoritative, but at the same point she's not as menacing or evil as she was in her initial appearances. And then Blue, man, I mean, I'm surprised you're not into Blue the way I am. I mean, I love the I mean, I've always loved the scale and design of Blue, but I just love the interaction in general with her and Steven. I love how she's the only diamond to actually call Steven Steven. I don't know, man. There's to me, this episode is like packed with like, pleasantry nuggets like that. And then the song just kind of wraps it up and really puts a bow on it. So that again, that's kind of like how that's kind of where my Mr. Greg comparison comes in. Is this as good as Mr. Greg? God, no. Mr. Greg is best episode in the series by a country mile, and I don't think anything that the series ever does is going to top it. But I don't know. I love the build up to it, man. I love the kind of like all these subtle things that Steven keeps seeing. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you take a stab at this. I'm kind of droning on a little bit.
yeah, well, here's the thing. So I mean, I get what here's the thing. I understand what they're going for, and I do respect what they're going for, and especially again by the end, I think it comes together more than I think it does in the rest of the episode. My problem is this. The problem is, I, again, I see where the familiar, where the song, what the song is telling me, and I can see where it applies to the previous scenes that we had. So I see where it's all coming together. I see what they're going for. My problem is I'm not quite feeling it in those earlier scenes. And again, it's hard to delineate how much of that is just because it's been a while. Again, this whole episode feels like it's just getting back to the swing of things, and I don't know if maybe if there's like a shorter gap, I might have been like from when the last episode ended to when this one ended, I might have been a little bit more into it. So I don't know how much of that's me, how much of that's the episode, how much of that's just me.
I
Like,
mean, it's
okay, well,
interesting that you mentioned that, Dragon, because since we have had such a long gap and I didn't have time to rewatch the last episode, I mean, I was basically going into this like, how bad my memory can be sometimes, Dragon. I was kind of going into this blind a little bit almost, and to me, I think it works well as a standalone. I don't necessarily think that. I mean, I just think generally speaking, from a momentum point of view, what Cartoon Network does with this show is frankly shit. I mean, it's bad. It's straight up bad. It kills momentum.
well, that's what I'm
Uh,
looking in. Yeah,
Go ahead.
that's why I'm coming from a momentum point of view, Teague. I'm not saying you continuity wise you need to know exactly what happened because you've just been in the room. That's all. He's just in a room and he's exploring new surroundings. But that's the thing. It just feels like, okay, we're exploring new surroundings. I'm not. It feels more like lingering before its story at the start, but then story comes into play. But it basically retroactively has to make the other things work. But again, I'm still I'm just kind of waiting until that happens, and I should I'm not in the moments like I am because it's just basically it's fine. It's just a little random. Like, okay, this is like it's kind of some fun stuff. Like, okay, well, the diamonds have like this. It's like world. Let me put it this way. It's like the world building somewhat is interesting to explore, but not quite at the start of it. I don't know what they're going for. Like, okay, so Yellow Diamond, she's got this sauna thing, and like I get we're getting to know her personally, and that's all nice and good. And then we have Blue Diamond at the pool, and again, it feels kind of vacationy atmosphere that Steven's kind of at, which is kind of nice. That's all fine and good. That's like okay, that's again, it's a little.
I just like I said with the Blue Diamond stuff. I find the chemistry between those two just so charming. Yeah, I love Steven's line. Like it's funny. I live right next to the ocean, and yet I had to go to space to go swimming. And I don't know. I love the like I said, I love the dynamic there. I love that Blue Diamond is the only one to call Steven Steven.
Steven.
I guess meant a lot more to me.
I guess let me put it to you this way. I think I have a better way of putting it. Okay, here's the thing. So the familiar song, when we have the song, the whole
Yes.
familiar song, which is great. It's catchy. It's all it's
I
nice.
would, at this point, I would honestly probably put it in my top 10 Steven Universe songs.
Obviously, it's no Mr. Greg, but it's definitely catchy.
Well, to be fair, Mr. Greg, I think the standout song of that episode isn't the Mr. Greg song. It's Over, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, that's a good. Well, they're
Which
both good
still
songs.
might be the number one best Steven Universe song, but well, that's a debate for another day.
Yeah,
Up in
my
India, even.
my point is, I feel again, the familiar thing is landing with me there, where I kind of get where he's going at. Because basically, what you said earlier, Tiki, how Steven's feeling the feeling a deja vu. Since I'm not picking up on the deja vu in those scenes because we're just kind of like thrown into those scenes. I'm not quite in Steven's head during those scenes. Just that's the thing. I'm not getting the deja vu there, but I'm getting the deja vu exactly what he's talking about at the song, and I retroactively have to apply that to the previous scenes. And I don't know. I don't think there's enough of a seedling in those previous two scenes before we have kind of the meat, kind of the big stake of it all later on. Am I
All
making any
right.
sense of that?
Yeah, I mean you're making sense, and I do see what you're talking about. I Dragon, say it with me. Say it with me. I think this is a of subject,
Subjectivity.
Steven. I really think that's what this is, Dragon. I mean, like, frankly, to me, I really like that this episode is so understated and subtle. It almost kind of reminds me of like an indie movie. Like, this is like an indie episode of Steven Universe in
Okay,
a
I'm
way.
going to remind you, we had an actual indie episode of Steven Universe that was way better as an indie episode. Okay, I'm going to remind.
Wait, what episode was that? Was that
Last
the last one out
one,
of?
Beach City. Yeah.
I wouldn't even count that as an indie
Oh,
episode.
that was so an indie episode. I would come on, man.
No, that's the to me that episode was more going for like a John Hughes vibe. I wouldn't consider that indie.
I look. I could point you to so many indie movies or indie movie parodies that capture that. Anyway, let's.
It's not the kind of indie movie that I'm thinking of though. The kind of indie movie I'm thinking of though is like the really subtle indie movies, the ones that you kind of have to pour over with a microscope to get the meaning out of. But then when you do get that meaning, you're like, yes, that microscope trip was worth it.
The microverse at last.
Oh, God.
Okay. Well,
I understand what everyone loves about The Favorite. Huzzah! Discretion, full discretion. I do not understand what people like about The Favorite. I'm in Kyle Decker's corner on that one. Anyways.
Okay, let's load some of the other stuff in the episode because I think we're getting kind of locked on the familiar of it all. Let's load some of the other stuff. So, let's look at the pink pebbles.
Yeah, I really like it was good world building. I like Steven's ingenuity of like make me a shelf for my face, and that's how we got into the hole. I thought that was really clever of him.
It's such a unique idea. The idea is that Pink Diamond, and again, Steven by proxy can do this as well, but the idea is that Pink Diamond, basically from what we see Steven do, I imagine, Pink Diamond just basically had rocks from Homeworld that she would cry, basically work her, her tear, what Steven has, like the saliva magic, like the magic of Rose, the healing magic that Rose has. Basically
Uh-huh.
can bring those rocks to life, and when they come to life, they're like Cinderella mice. They patch things
They're
up,
exactly like Cinderella
they
mice.
make clothing. They kind of fix up the place. It's like a cross between Cinderella mice and Keebler elves. It's kind of what they got going on there. It's kind of it's somewhere in the middle. Here's the thing: when I was first watching, I was thinking Fraggles, but I realized, wait a minute, I don't know if that quite fit because they're living in the walls like Fraggles, but I guess it's more like Keebler elves. It's kind of I don't know. It's like
Fraggles are more underground than living in the walls, I
I know
think.
that's the thing. That's initially I was thinking Fraggles were like kind of how they were presented, but then I was realizing, wait, no, they're no, it's a different thing. It's like more
Yeah,
bar.
Fraggle is like a subterranean.
I know. I'm saying how handy they are being on the.
Uh-huh.
But you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Cinderella nice clear cutting easily. But the point is, it's a neat little idea. It's kind of again, it's kind of that's the world building that really interested me about the episode. Like the whole okay, we got kind of the whole sedimentary kind of you have rocks and rocks versus the quartz and the diamonds and the whole shebang, the whole gemology.
Okay, I'm gonna point out my absolute favorite moment in the whole episode, and to me, this kind of speaks to how subtle the episode was.
Okay.
I love the moment when they're walking to Yellow's throne room or whatever, and they pass by all those Beauty and the Beast looking columns. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
black and white Beauty and the Beast, and they're all gossiping to each other. And then Steven says hello to one of them, and it blushes. Um, Dragon, to me, that's the kind of like subtle, like, really, really it speaks to the familiar tone. That to me is what gave me the sort of deja vu of it all. If you want to talk about moments like building up to the song, that gave me a deja vu feel.
Let me tell you this. I love I love the haunting thank yous throughout the episode. Stephen is kind and he thanks him, and there's a little taken aback by it. It's really interesting. Like that's
Oh,
like those bits are kind of neatly haunting. And and the other thing, again, that's the thing that gets me really intrigued. Like, what the heck was Pink Diamond like on the planet? What went on here? But aside from that, I got to tell you, the whispering and everything kind of reminded me a little bit of Brave Little Toaster.
yeah, a little bit. I could see
It's like
that.
the other appliances kind of whispering to themselves, like that really douchey purple lamp in the master's apartment
Oh
in
god.
Brave Little. It was the one that was like the one that like kicked them all out. I really hope that lamp got broke. Man. That lamp was a prick. He was. He was a
uh,
wobbly prick.
can we just do another podcast about that movie? I know we already did a podcast about that movie, but we just do another one.
Well, I mean, if there's, believe me, if there's like an anniversary or something, we just do like a retrospective on it. Sure, because we did a commentary on it last time. Yeah. Okay, anyway, getting back on point. Sorry about that. Getting back on point. Let's see. So, I think that here's writing wise what I like most about this, and what I like retroactively, and this is something good retroactively applied to the episode. I think that really clicked with me. I love that we kind of spell it out later on in a good way. Where Stephen, we have this great meta gag where Garnet, Garnet, Connie, and Amethyst, are brought in by Pearl, and
Oh,
Stephen basically has learned things after the familiar song. He basically that kind of clues Stephen into what exactly the X factor is with the pink diamond of it all, and with the diamonds and the whole shebang, the deja vu shebang, all of that. And basically, he comes to him and says, "Guys, remember?" Essentially saying, "Hey, guys, remember in season one where
right, right, right.
I was kind of young and annoying, and I wanted to hang out wanted to go on missions with you, and you always said I was too young for it, but you still found opportunities to hang out with me." So here's the thing. So one, it's a fun little meta gag, but on the secondary level, what I really appreciate about it is that okay, that's the familiarity. That's what he's clicking on here. Is that the dynamic he had with the crystal gems initially? Them always like busy parents taking time to hang out with the kid
Uh-huh.
is what Pink Diamond's role was with the diamonds. So again, I love that kind of Stephen putting that together and seeing the similarity that's the sense of deja vu in a single kind of moment. That's the thing where we're really like, okay, I got it. That's pretty smart. I like that.
Okay, you know what, Dragon? That gives a really good subtext that I didn't even consider. Because to me, one of my nitpicks of the episode was, I honestly think this episode would have, like, I think if this episode would have ended on the song and then that's it, just cut to credits, I think it honestly would have been maybe even stronger if not for laying out the themes that you just illustrated. I mean, you've got a point there, but what do you think of that, Drake? What do you think of potentially just ending on the song? Because on my first watch of the episode, that was my first instinct. I was like, yeah, it would have been like such a crescendo if the star wipe would have happened like right after the song.
I gotta tell you, part of me feels like you can only pull that trick so many times. It's not a bad thing necessarily to end at just the right moment, but I
How
mean,
many other times have they done that besides Mr. Greg?
I'm just saying, they've had like the dramatic, like the star wiper. Oh wait, when you, good point. Yeah, 'cause I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the delineation between you have a star wipe and they have just the abrupt ending. Because the abrupt ending they've done multiple times. That's what I'm thinking of. But when you have a star wipe after something like that, that's a little different. So it's a good
Okay,
point.
well, forget the star wipe. I just just ending it, just fading to black, whatever. We don't. I personally think that every episode should have ended with a star wipe. I like that motif, and I think it's kind of abrupt when episodes don't end with star ripes, but that's just my opinion. That's something, that's a whole other conversation.
Well, I don't know. I feel it was integral to this episode that you have to show that Steven learned something from this song. But again, not, you didn't have to do it, but I'm saying I like that it shows him kind of making the connection, making the link about what that song was about. And if you ended it just after that song, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it would have been nice. It would have been maybe a little more artistic, maybe, sure, but it feels like I don't know. It feels like that would make you get to wait a week till the next one, and I don't want to just like put waiting into the mix on all of this because that's not fair. But I don't know. I feel you needed that little cushion after that. You need to see kind of, and plus Steven, he's gonna get into the Pink Diamond mindset after that. He's kind of it's all coming together. I think you need a little thing after that. I think that's just.
I totally hear you. I just
Like, have they ever ended on a song before? Just for the episode.
Mr. Greg.
Well, are you sure it ended on that's the thing, ending on the song? You mean like ending right after the song, obviously, like just like
No, I'm saying Mr. Greg ended on the refrain of "It's over, isn't it? Isn't it?"
well, I know it didn't end at "It's over, isn't it?" Because they had the big heartfelt thing, but a refrain, right? So
Well, no, it ended on a reprise of that song.
hmm. So it's been a while since I've watched Mr. Greg, and I love it, but it's just like that because of course you're always swept up in the whole "It's over." The first rendition of "It's over, isn't it?" And then it's a bit I keep rewatching, but yeah, sure, okay.
All right,
I
whatever.
imagine it's tricky to end on a song sometimes. I imagine, like again, if you have to, if you do a reprise, I don't know. It's but speaking of Pearl, because you brought her up, that's I want to talk about some Pearl stuff. Really liking the episode. Again, I like Pearl as she was considered a thing, therefore she was allowed to bring Steven's other things to him, which is kind of like it's sad but true. It's like, well, good that Pearl's in the episode. Kind of sad she's still being referred to as a thing, but go figure. But importantly, we get multiple
Yeah.
pearls. We had multiple pearls this episode. We had Yellow Diamond's Pearl, Blue Diamond's Pearl, and of course, good old Pearl. And I love that Pearl's just kind of like, again, this is going to sound so weird, but I got kind of like a mom and kid on vacation vibe from Steven and Pearl this go around here. I really liked it.
Where I can see it for sure.
Yeah, she's the motherly figure along for the ride. Like, I don't know, Tiki is it sounds so ridiculous, but it's just like Pearl's. I don't know. Something kind of warms my heart with the whole like, okay, let's basically she gets him ready for the sauna and the pool and everything. Let's get you in the swimsuit, and like that whole thing. Just like let's get you ready for the meeting.
Oh.
I don't know. It's like it's something kind of so motherly about that. And then of course later when Steven's like, I got water up my nose. She's like, oh dear. And it's like that's perfect. And I think my favorite thing the whole episode is the juggling gag. Well, like she could juggle. Like she used to hold all these balls, like all these giant balls. Like, oh, you mean she could juggle? Well, no. Well, yeah, she could juggle, but it's not the point. Like, I love that. So again, Pearl was on the money for the episode, and she brought everyone back for a little reunion there. It's all nice. I'm a little. I tell you one thing. I'm a little. How do you feel about the tutu? I'm a little on the tutu.
Okay, I get it from a symbolic point of view. I like it's fine. Oh, we're getting into dicey territory here, Dragon. I was fine with it until there was kind of a tension with Pearl where I don't know, I just think that Steven like just going out of his way to recreate Pink Diamond, and then there was that whole thing with Pearl and Rose, and it's getting into maybe a little bit of uncomfortable territory, and I feel
Right.
dirty talking about this.
Right. I didn't pick up on. I see what you're saying now when you bring that up. I didn't quite get that. I just thought she was a little. Here's the thing. It sounds so. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Just how simple it sounds. I just read it on the surface level, like, oh, she's just seeing Steven in a tutu, and then she kind of reacts to it for a second. Then she's kind of like, okay, basically, like, not even the tutu. It's like, okay, she's wearing the Pink Diamond getup. That's a little different. But I didn't really read all the stuff you're kind of alluding to. There's like, wow, that makes. It's a lot better actually when you think about it that way. It's like, wow, there's a lot more attached to it that way. But yeah, it's just like, okay, well, Steven's just kind of in a new ensemble at the moment.
And if I'm being honest with you, Dragon, as someone who's a little bit trans-leaning myself, I thought it was maybe a little bit too on the nose. Like, again, this is kind of like dicey territory for me to even be talking about. I fucking hate politics on this channel, but I'm just gonna say, like, I think it could have been a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. I gotta tell you, design wise, I do like the outfit, but again, it's just kind of they're kind of going for like a mix between the tutu look or Lord Fauntleroy pants. And again, I guess if they're going the Lord Fauntleroy manner, it's still kind of. I think it's kind of funny looking. I guess it was just I don't know. It's fine. I'm just saying again. Importantly, he's supposed to be like Pink Diamond. I get it, and that's the point. So that's I think it's perfectly fine. It was like a little like yeah, it's not my favorite design, but yeah, let's go along with it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even want to like I don't want to step on anyone's toes here. It's totally fine. It's not anything that like disrupts my political views or anything like that. It's just a little bit too on the nose.
I mean, again, the symbol is like they're all the diamonds are looking at him as Pink Diamond. Therefore, he's garbed like Pink Diamond. Again, it's almost like a ridiculous thing. Like, really, they can't put two and two together. That he's not. He literally does not look a thing like Pink Diamond. Yet they're seeing the diamond. There is not. It's just not clicking.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you. Here's the thing. I think just from the get go, something that weirded me out there. I don't get why Yellow Diamond is in a sauna. That's kind of weird me out from the start. I just want to get in there.
Okay, I'll say this: the Yellow Diamond scene was probably the weakest scene of the episode.
Again, I like the conversation. It's just like
why
a
cut scene.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right from the get, that's the thing that kind of tainted the episode for me, and not a negative way. Just kind of that gave me that cutscene vibe for the whole thing. Kind of like I'm not quite. I'm more scratching my head, and piecing it together in that scene, and it kind of takes away from the other.
Like, oh great! Now we have to round up 50 rupees and give them to the villagers.
Just this whole. It's just like here's the bit that wasn't the sweating bit. Like I don't get the world building that I still don't get is like the whole the water and the plugs of the world. Like they have like when Blue Diamond gets out of the pool, there's a little drain that's kind of like the four diamond colors just kind of coming together like a little thing in the floor, like a plug almost for a pool. And there's one in the sauna. For Yellow Diamond, that her sweat kind of for some reason just has to like she can will her sweat to go down the like, what is the point to that? That's the thing I'm scratching my head at. That's like I'm trying to do a better comparison. I'm just going I don't know I'm going to AI in my head right now. It's like one of those sci-fi. It's like a Minority Report or I guess an AI sort of thing where you have like kind of world building that just makes your head scratch. Like okay, we need something kind of feels like futuristic or different in the world building, yet we don't explain it. It kind of feels like that. It kind of weirded me out a little
bit. Yeah, I hear.
All right, so I guess it's basically on the whole. I guess final thoughts, unless you got anything else.
No, I'm good. You want to go over the kind of what we've been speculating off air about the future of the show?
Oh yeah, sure. Tell the folks.
Okay, so here is the dealio, ladies and gentlemen. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to be getting new episodes of Steven Universe. Let's see, on December 31st, we'll be getting Together Alone, and then on January 7th, we'll be getting Escapism. But then the show's going to be going off air for 2 weeks, and then coming back on January 21st. With Steven Universe, Battle of Heart and Mind, which is the TV movie that I believe this was announced at Comic-Con, Dragon. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to be episodes 29, 30, 31, and 32. And here's the thing, folks. We've been hearing things about this show maybe coming to an end and wrapping up. And honestly, story-wise, for anyone who's followed Gravity Falls, like we're feeling like this is like this is post not what he seems at this point. Gravity Falls, like we're getting into territory here where where the diamonds are almost becoming normalized side characters at this point. It's like basically I really want the series to end with Battle of Heart and Mind. I'm always an advocate for shows ending, when their story has a natural wrap up. Dragon, you know me, I feel more burned by The Walking Dead than any other show in TV history because I devoted like fucking 6 seasons of that show, like 7 seasons, and then it just went completely off the rails and I quit watching it, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse from what I hear, and I don't want that to happen to any show. That's why I'm so glad that Gotham is wrapping up this year.
Let me put it to you this way: Steven Universe. If
2019.
use a Cartoon Network parable here, if Steven Universe isn't careful, or if I guess again, I always put it all on Steven Universe. If like Cartoon Network, because again, it's not just Cartoon Network, but a lot of networks, even Nickelodeon, from what I hear, uh, these days especially, they can be really dodgy with they kind of like you have these poor showrunners and these poor show creators who are really bullied by the networks in terms of like they're either kept guessing or they're told to do things like some shows like I heard a recent, I cannot remember at the moment where I heard this from, but I heard like SpongeBob. I knew this happened with Fairly Odd Parents, even SpongeBob to an extent for years. They were meandering in that they were canceled or pseudo canceled, where the networks haven't picked up the episodes, but they're not officially canceled. Like that weird limbo to be in, which I imagine if you're involved in those shows is torture because you don't know. Well, should be, or I mean, I guess the other comparison would be Rick and Morty. Like again, they're in that. It's like Schrodinger's cat of cancellation. Like you are canceled, but you were simultaneously not canceled or not
Right,
or
right.
not in production. It's like one of those things, and so they're kind of in. So at the moment, like any show, networks kind of play with expectations like that, and the way it could go for Steven Universe if they're not careful. So again, not on the creators itself, but on the networks messing with things or just kind of telling them they're picked up or they're not picked up. Hence the whole Nickelodeon parable is that they go the Ben 10 route. The Ben 10 route. Now, whether you
Oh
love that,
God. Oh
let me
please. Oh.
let me explain what that would mean. So the Ben 10 route, Ben 10 was a show that okay. So the first series just just Ben 10, the 10-year-old kid, the original. Good stuff there. Then they bring it back with Alien Force, which is fine. It's kind of like almost it's like 5 years later. They do it was a radically different show. Had good writers on. So the point is nothing bad there. But beyond that, what happened was Ben 10, even when it was transitioning between the original two shows, you had a TV movie. You had a TV movie that essentially wrapped up all loose ends because again they did like a big TV movie because they didn't know they were coming back, and then they came back with Alien Force, and then of course it basically the cycle keeps repeating itself, and you'll notice a pattern here, Tiki. They have a series and they do a big TV movie that absolutely could be an ending, but then the network kind of keeps them on life support, so it keeps going, and then it's like
Yeah.
okay, and okay,
Yeah.
Steven Universe. But here's let me put you the worst case doomsday scenario that Steven Universe could be faced with if they follow the Ben 10 route, Tiki. Okay, so they continue with the status quo they have now, which means what you just said, like the diamonds are established. Like the diamonds could be walking around on Earth, like "Hello, top of the morning." Where it's like, okay, we've kind of lost the specialness.
Basically, yes.
We've overstayed our welcome, which is what happened to Ben 10 when they kind of went on in the same continuity, in the same universe, just beyond like ultimate alien. Where now we can do like an ultimate form of the same alien instead of new alien, and now it's unlimited. And then eventually it'll get rebooted twice, and it'll be just redesigned and then rebooted to what it is now, and that's the fate I fear, Steven. If they just want to milk Steven Universe for what it's worth, then it'll be to the point where it gets redesigned and rebooted with a different showrunner, and it'll be disastrous.
I mean, here's the thing about that, though, Dragon. Frankly, I don't think Cartoon Network views Steven Universe as a valuable enough property to let that happen, honestly.
Again, I'm just saying that's the worst case, but in the other sense, it's just going to be kind of the unfortunate circumstance. Well, again, unfortunate, but in the end, like not the worst thing ever. Where okay, well, Steven at least hopefully gets a good ending with this movie, and that'll be it. But again, maybe preempted completely because it's
I also think I brought this up with you off air, but I also think it's suspicious that season 5 is going on into the 30 episode range, where I believe this is easily the first season since season 1 to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe season 2 had like 30 something
yeah,
episodes.
yeah. It's the first two seasons were longer. I don't know how. Like one of them was 52 episodes, and I think that was season two. I'm not
Season
sure.
1 was the one that was like ridiculously long.
Yeah, one of them was ridiculous long. It was season one or season
Season
two, I
1
think.
was 52 episodes.
Right.
And then season two, no, I was right. Season two was 26 episodes.
Yeah, you're right.
Season three was 25. Season four was yeah, Dragon, they've all been 25, 26 episodes. This is the first season since season one to stretch it out into the 30s.
So that's the thing. It feels like a situation where the network, again, kind of like a Legend of Korra on Nickelodeon, where they just want to wrap it up. They don't want to, they're done. They want to get it swept in the rug because it's a non-priority these days. Which again,
Yeah, and frankly, if that's the way they're going to do it, I'm kind of glad that Familiar isn't season six, episode one, and then, is it going to be a really short season and it's going to end with Battle of Heart and Mind? Is it going to be like, we're just going to keep going after Battle of Heart and Mind? In my heart of hearts, I would like to think that Battle of Heart and Mind is it. That's what's going to wrap everything up. We've already got 20 more minutes to build to that point, and frankly, I think we're to the point where there's not really a whole hell of a lot else to even establish with this show at this point in the story. Like all the themes, all the characters, every plot. It's like I feel like everything's kind of coming to a head. So I really think that if we go on past Battle of Heart and Mind, it's going to be the show being milked. I really do.
exactly. Like the only three plot elements we have left. We got White Diamond, we got fixing the corrupted gems, and we have the birth of Stephen. Like, those are the last three things we need.
We gotta have some wrap up on Lars too.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we had. Oh yeah. So yes, the fourth one. He has to come back to Earth. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, so we have those four elements to wrap up in about a movie in 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So there's that. But yeah, I think you're right. On the grand scheme, it's unfortunate that again, Seniors as a show was kind of jerked around that much, really how it was aired and everything, and just all of that. Not as much some other shows I think were more wrong by that sort of thing. But again, so the point is like
But at the very least, on a narrative level, it's pretty sound. I mean, granted, I do think the show peaked in season three. I strongly think that. I don't think it jumped the shark or anything, but I do think it peaked in season three. But still, it'll definitely be a narratively sound conclusion.
yeah, like, narratively things work.
Telling the story they set out to tell.
Assuming it ends with this movie, then narratively, yes, things worked out. Things ended up working out. Hopefully, and fingers crossed, things will work itself out, and at least have a satisfying ending and all that stuff. But again, like Grand Scream is like, it's a shame they kind of like they're. I don't think this was a plan, but I don't know. Like I don't. It'd be interesting to see if Rebecca Sugar could like confirm or deny in interviews or something. Like if she always planned to end on a TV movie or something. So that'd be interesting. But,
Uh-huh.
like or this whatever this story is. Like I don't know. Like it'd be unfortunate to find out that she had some specific stories or like grander plans, like a season's worth of stories she wanted to tell in lieu of a movie. So I don't know. I don't know. We won't know until
That would be unfortunate. You're right about that.
we don't know until things are settled. So right now we're all speculative. But yeah. So I guess those final thoughts then.
I think I already went through final thoughts.
Well, I meant on the episode.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I already gave my final thoughts.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll sandwich it with mine then. Okay. All right. So basically, I think this episode's it's kind of a new status quo that just takes some time to get used to. Kind of in a new status quo, and before we get to the big whammo blammo of that TV movie. So, yeah. All right.
All right. Okay, folks, thanks so much for joining us. We will be back in the new year to cover the next episode and beyond, all the way up until that TV movie. And don't forget, we are the Crystal Gems. We'll always save the day, and if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this real believe in Tiki.
Dragon.
And
Steven.
Steven.
Woo.